beats a zero.
We make everything look good, including being overweight. So, scientifically, you cannot drink alkaline water and it makes your cells alkalytic.
The closer you are to nature, the healthier you'll be.
Hello, hello, and happy Saturday. I am Carolyn Gentle, and you are in the Mind of Nature, hosted by Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist. Thank you all so much for joining. Please go ahead, share the live. We are live right now. We are on Facebook, YouTube, and on Instagram. So please go ahead and share the live so others can be a part of the conversation. We have a great show today for you all. So please go ahead and share the live. Share the live. Today's topics, we're going to be talking about your food choices, how it impacts the earth climate, also overcoming inflammation, raw food and its bacterial load, and how strong is your immune system against STDs? We're going to be talking about all that great information. I know Dr. Zarif has some great information for us. So as you're coming in, please say hi, first of all, in the comments. I'm gonna have to set some rules on the live. Come on in, say hi. Make sure you're dropping a comment saying hi to us so we know you're there. And then also, you know, let us know what's going on. Dr. Zarif, I'm sorry. Hey, how you doing? Got a little ahead of
Fantastic,
myself.
fantastic. I'm coming in right on the rules of law and hey. All right, it's hey everybody, it's great to be here. Let's go ahead and get it going. Happy belated Juneteenth. I heard that Lamert Park was blasting. I was supposed to be there, could not make it,
Hmm.
but I know that it was a blast. Like like we can look to on the usual basis because it's great people there. And a lot of people are sharing wonderful the connection of people. That's what's so wonderful. And so there you have it. There. Now we move on to these different things that we could really do a lot or improve ourselves because that's what the biggest room in the universe is, what the room for improvement. So that's what we're going to go over today. And care there, I'm glad that you were reminding everybody to make sure you sign in. Your comments are very important, not only to us, but when people come and read and they want to see how you react to the knowledge that we're sharing with you. Okay.
Absolutely. I see Dr. Cher Stevens here saying,
Oh, Dr. Share.
good morning. Looking forward to today's discussion. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us here. See,
And
that's
we are live.
we are.
Yeah, we've been really just to give an explanation of that. We've been pre-recording because we've been busy. I speak at many venues, and I'm very happy that I'm getting a greater demand to speak, and it's just really wonderful. And we go in for it. We hit hit the trail or a flight or whatever we have to do to get wherever we're going. And more people are taking more responsibility of feeling good from moment to moment instead
Mhm.
of just like, I don't know what's going to happen today. I will see. That's not a good life. Thrive, not just survive. And it's about getting up, doing something, putting these principles, this knowledge into action. It's not worth a dime if you don't use it. If you just abusing time. And thank you so very, very much. I know to all you very busy people and the educators and professionals, the doctors, the many nurses that also are following us, just absolutely without words. And we just really appreciate you. Okay. So, Kara, you ready?
I am. I am. Uh-oh, we got some more people coming in. That's right. Just for those who are coming in a little bit late, I said to make sure one of the rules of the Mind of Nature is as soon as you come in, you jump in and you say hello. You can say hello to myself and Dr. Zarif and to others in the chat. This is a community. This is like a family community where we see each other and we are saying hi to each other. So let's see here. Allison Gentle saying, good morning. Good morning,
Woohoo!
Gentle. Hi, Dad. Thank you so much for joining us here today. And also, let's see here. Elisa, thank you. Good morning to you. Really do appreciate it. I love to see the comments. I love it when everyone is here and, you know, just showing support and we're just loving on each other. So thank you so much. Elisa is healthcare provider following. Yes, great. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate it. Dr. Zari?
All right, let's get it on. One of the things that I wanted to do is I want to share with you the way that some of the food choices that we make, how they impact the earth and everything else around us. It's really important for you to know that the information does not work if you don't work with it. That's just the synergy there, and the importance of what you eat. Yes, that does definitely take priority over many other points that I'll be making today. But I want you to know that it's about you starting where you are and doing all that you can do to make better choices between all of those fast foods and the quick serve restaurants and all of the frozen foods, the ultra processed foods, all of those things are there to make your life more convenient. They would like you to feel that. But, and when I say they, I'm talking about the manufacturers, those people that sell it to us. This food thing is a business. Nobody's sitting somewhere. How can I get the healthiest product out? They want a product that you're going to return to, that you're really going to like the taste of it. They want to. Their greatest motto, I think, ever made about food was, "I bet you can't eat just one." And once we're tied up in that type of addiction and craving, it's very difficult to go in another direction. Now, when it comes to our food, the additives are very important because these are some of the things that give us the satiety, the taste, the texture, the aroma. All of these are a part of why we are searching for and looking toward this euphoria that we all get when we eat. That most of us, anyway. Some of the things that, as far as the impact that it makes on the Earth climate, like greenhouse gas emissions, animal agriculture, particularly the beef and the dairy. It contributes to high levels of methane and nitrous oxide emissions. And you've heard people talk about that blueprint of what it takes to raise just one cow and all the acres that it needs in order to be fed. So that had to change because of the world size and the increased population, something that we can't stop, and that's life itself. It goes on. Also, the plant-based diets generally produce fewer emissions compared to the diets high in animal products. So if you're eating burgers and steaks and potato, well, not the potatoes, but like I was saying, steak and potato, but it's those things that when you talk about animal agriculture versus the plant-based diets, the earth is more affected by raising meat and different cattle, the all of the birds, the turkeys, the chickens, and all that. All of that can be very deleterious to the planet. Nevertheless, people aren't thinking about that. They're thinking more about the taste. They're thinking about the crispiness, the feeling of it, because it goes back to what? Euphoria. Euphoria. People want to feel good. But just additionally, let's talk a little bit about the greenhouse gas emissions. They go along with the other destructive substances and conditions that destroy the ozone that protects us against the very hot and what can be detrimental uh, rays from the sun. So we need to plant more trees. We need to eat more of the greens, the green leafy foods, like especially vegetables. And then there's the cruciferous family, all the different colors of the fruits and vegetables. The animal agriculture, particularly the beef and the dairy, contributes to high levels of methane and the nitrous oxide emissions. If you really care about that, there's some really excellent information that is available to you online, and some really wonderful speakers, or those people that are they're advocates of eating healthier, and advocates of some of them of not eating any meat at all. Now, I don't want to feel like, we'll be preaching to you about, the meat situation, because a lot of times when you are thinking about eating healthier, one of the first things that people fear is that, oh, I won't have my meat. I got to have my meat. My doctor told me without meat, I need the protein. There's a lot of stories to go with that, and I'm not going to make light of them, because some people, they will eat meat as long as they live, and that is their right as much as it is your right to have something different to say about that. This is your life, and you can do with it what you want to. However, those of us that can perhaps suggest a better way of eating can really help you to avoid a lot of trip ups. So, and that is one of the purpose of me and those other people that are speaking up and speaking out about the choices that we make when it comes to eating. Now, animal farming consumes more water and energy compared to growing crops for the direct human consumption. So the animal farming consumes more water and energy compared to the growing the crops. I want you to hear that. That's when I say compared to growing crops, I'm talking about plant based. When you make a plant based choice, you're also making a choice to use more the land for some of the natural things without all the pollution. Whereas animal farming, it uses way more water, way more energy in order to produce the products that we get from chicken and turkey and beef, so forth. Okay. um, Reducing meat and dairy intake, it can lower the water usage and the energy expenditure in food production. Moving along, I wanted to bring back the sustainable practices. Choosing locally sourced and seasonal foods can minimize transportation emissions. Now, the organic farming practices can enhance soil health and biodiversity, contributing to the climate resilience. So, our organic farming practices, it can enhance the health of the soil and the biodiversity and the other reasons that we use the soil, or for growing other types of um, vegetables, and making the land, not just destroying all of the soil by not putting the nutrients back in the soil, allowing the soil to recoup or to rest, to build itself back up. All of those things are things to take into consideration. Um, Again, some of the food additives are it's very just important to understand the relationship between the food choices and the climate change that can give individuals toward more sustainable eating habits. Some of the things that look like they are toys or something that you play with, something that you should not be eating, are you most likely right. So you want to stay away as much as you can from those types of foods. Some of the categories of the food additives, for instance, would be preservatives and antimicrobial substances, the preservative, antioxidant, and chemical changes, flavoring agents, coloring agents, uh, dissolents, the stabilizers and thickeners, the emulsifiers and the surface active agents, nutritional supplements. Yeah, I know that's probably a surprise to some of you. Firming agents, anti caking agents, leavening agents, maturing and bleaching agents. Uh, Humectants, the curing of the curing agents, like those that still cure the hog or cure the meat. Perhaps we can go into that later. The phosphates, starter cultures, fats and oils, especially the we're remember the omega 3s. We just talked about that during the mental wellness month. Really, really some excellent information there. And the cost reduction in binders, along with spices, natural and man made, are all some of the categories of the food additives. And they're not all bad, but they are foods that we need to pay attention to. Now I want to go back to the wonderful care and see if we have some feedback. And Carrie, you might want to check your mic.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Zarif. And let's see here. Oh, we have some more comments that I just want to shout some people out. Reverend Dr. Diva D. Coates it says, Grand Rising to you. Hello. Always appreciate you being here. Hi, Denise Kane. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us here. From James Norman says, hello, Dr. Zarif and Sister Carolyn. Thank you for sharing this life altering knowledge. I have to have to get you guys on the replay due to my work schedule. I just want to say that the Motor City in the house, appreciates and support your content. Really do appreciate that, James Norman. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate you. Um, and let's see here. Miss Daphne Smith says she's late, but here. Good morning. Good morning, Mom. Thank you so much for joining us. Love you, love you. So I just wanted to shout everyone out. For anyone that came in late, I was kind of giving some new rules because I'm like, okay, sometimes we're not saying hi and we're not getting the comments going. So whenever you come in, you're always saying hi, say good morning, drop your comments. Not only saying hi to myself and Dr. Zarif, but also to others in the comments, because if you notice, we have a repeat of people that come in. And I see I'm frozen, but we have a repeating of people coming in, always supporting. So I just wanted to go ahead and drop those rules real quick. I will be doing that from time to time, just to kind of get us on the same track, so we know what we're supposed to be doing.
Excellent.
Now, Dr. Zarif, you mentioned something as far as plant-based eating, and someone who may say that their doctor tells them that they have to eat meat. It's
Yeah.
a way. What would that conversation be like, and why would someone have to eat meat?
Well, I don't. A person that has to eat meat. are people that are addicted to the meat. That's the ones that have to eat it if they want to do anything as far as that appetite for it. But there's not such a thing as that if you don't eat the meat, that you'll have a deficiency, or you won't have enough fiber, or you won't have enough energy, and all those kinds of things, because meat doesn't have any fiber. And meat you can get energy if you eat the food. You see that many of the, and I'm going to go into this a little later. It's just really about, if you're going to eat the meat, there are things that you should be concerned with, and that's like the bacterial load, the microorganism load. That's really important. Some people feel that it is a religion to them. It's like, well, I was meant to eat meat, and I'm going to eat it until I die. Yeah, I don't have any problem with that, because I don't have a problem with people doing with their life whatever they want to do. But it's just so important that you can be healthier by eating smaller amounts of meat, smaller amounts of fowl or poultry, um, smaller amounts of goat, and people eat deer and horse, and a lot of different types of foods that I can't imagine, but they come from their whole different background than I am. People eating ribs and all of that stuff. I grew up in that. I'm no different than anybody else that grew up black. Um, but it's really important that you take this knowledge and you act on it, because if you don't, if you listen to that kind of hogwash, it's not going to help you when you're sicker. I haven't ever heard of a person that was sick, and a doctor recommended, this just not good medical practice, to say, hey, you know what you need? You need some pork chops.
Mm.
You eat about 3 or 4 of them pork chops, you'll be back on your feet. You know, it-
Yes.
it's madness, madness. So the main thing is that you choose a way to eat. The way that you choose to eat is a way that works for you, meaning that it makes you feel good, but knowing what you're eating so that it will lower the risk of infection, of lower the risk of perhaps the sickness, of any types of diseases,
Right.
and of course, death itself. It's really important. Some people are in such a shape that they're used to it, and they figure that what has become common is healthy. And that is just totally off. It's about, look at people. You can tell when you look at a person if they're fit or not. I'm not talking about size. I'm talking about the fitness. There are people that are large, that are fit. They
Hmm.
move. They're smooth when they move. They get things done, uh, and they start to manage their weight better, their BMI, body mass index. They have some kind of idea of their IBW, which is ideal body weight. All of those things are very, very important.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm laughing because DVD is being DVD. She said, "How about cutting down to just one pork chop?"
Well, if you want, if that, I tell you, and I say this not jokingly, but if you're eating 3 pork chops and you cut down to 1 pork chops, you're doing yourself a great service.
Yes.
You know,
Absolutely.
and again, sometimes, see, food can also serve as a surrogate. it
Hmm.
it can serve as, like, so many people suffer from loneliness. Many people suffer from not having a good relationship. The type that just run everybody away from them. They can't. Anyway, that's another subject. But it is super important to understand that a lot of what we eat has to do with how much we care for ourselves. The Almost like the a personal empathy.
Really?
if you can. It's almost an oxymoron, but it is important that you know what you're here for and that you also deserve that. People that just throw anything in their body they are not considering how worthy they are of a healthy life. So what they do is they gamble with eating this junk, and I mean like over fried food, deep fried food, sugary foods, greasy foods, salty foods. And we continue doing that. And that's why we're here to remind you over and over and over, be very particular about what you choose to eat.
Yes. All right. Got it. Got it.
All right. Well, let's go ahead. We're going to keep moving. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about overcoming the inflammation. Now, when you want to reduce chronic inflammation, chronic low grade inflammation in the body has been linked to serious health conditions like type 2 diabetes, stroke, cancer, Alzheimer's disease, heart disease, and more. Now, the good news is that you can reduce the chronic inflammation in your body, lowering your risk of these diseases. Just like I was saying before about, making a choice of your eating style. You don't need to be, you're not going to die just because you become a vegan, nor are you just going to all of a sudden die because you choose to eat meat. But the intelligent thing is to ask yourself, how is this going to help me be a healthier person? Um, when it comes to the inflammation, the first is helpful to know the difference between acute and chronic. Remember, we talked about that. This is definitely a very good example of when we were looking at what is acute and what is chronic. Well, the inflammation isn't necessarily bad. It helps the body to heal. When a person has a fever or inflammation, many people are like, oh God, I got rid of this. I got to take a pill for this ill. But believe it or not, the inflammation isn't really bad, although that it makes you a little uncomfortable, but it helps the body to heal when you have an injury like a cut or a burn or an infection. But when low grade inflammation from certain lifestyle factors and health conditions last for months or even years, it can cause health issues. So that's why you don't want inflammation to go on and on and on. You rest in some cases, you ice in some cases. You can add on, topicals that will help to relieve you of pain. There's different sprays. There are a lot of things before you even get to taking the different pills. Chronic inflammation is the body's response to some type of cell damage. And when you have cell damage, your body releases chemicals that trigger an immune system response to repair the damage. Your body is just really, really incredible. I've heard that some activists are telling people that there's no such thing as an immune system. Well, all I have to say is when people say that, tell them to prove it. Tell them I want to see, can you prove that there isn't or that we don't have an immune system? And I think that you're going to find that quite interesting. So I'm going to go back to, I want to go over, so I'll be very clear about the chronic inflammation. The chronic inflammation can be caused by eating a diet that's high in sugar, refined carbohydrates, processed foods, fried foods, alcohol, trans fats, red meat, and processed meat. Also, smoking, obesity, stress, lack of sleep, over exercising, autoimmune diseases like lupus and rheumatoid arthritis, overuse of antibiotics and acids and non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, or says including the ibuprofen and naproxen and naproxen sodium and aspirin. All of these can cause the chronic inflammation. The chronic inflammation symptoms, just so that you'll know, the fatigue, insomnia, your body or joint pain, the anxiety, depression, or other mood disorders, um, frequency, you know, the frequency interruption, like that's another way to talk about, the changing of moods. The frequent infections would be another one. Frequent acid reflux, that's another name for heartburn, for instance. And people have the esophageal, the burning of the esophagus, and the acid reflux that they face. That's a very uncomfortable and inconvenient disorder, along with constipation and diarrhea. Weight loss and weight gain, both of those, these are some of the symptoms of chronic inflammation. Type 2 diabetes, heart disease, stroke, cancer, Alzheimer's disease is another one. Yeah, it's tied into the symptoms. So you can have not only Alzheimer's, but there are other comorbidities, which means other maladies, other symptoms. Autoimmune disease like lupus and the rheumatoid arthritis, as I just mentioned, that can also be signs of inflammation. Chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases, COPD, chronic kidney disease, and inflammation, or the inflammatory bowel disease, your IBD. You probably heard of that, but for instance, Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. So we move on here. I want to show you that, when we're talking about in the joints, this is a serious offense to the body. So we know now what to look for, and we know what it is, but how can we reduce chronic inflammation? You can reduce chronic inflammation by making lifestyle changes. Eat anti-inflammatory foods, and they contain omega-3 fatty acids, and we talked about how omega-3 fatty acids help to stop or slow down the shrinkage and hardening of the brain as you get older. Those people that are still eating lard, and you're frying in these different Crisco and all these other different oils that have no nutrients whatsoever. And a lot of them use the ultra high temperatures, UHTs. And you probably, if you're in food science, you've heard that before. And that this is when you're frying that cheap grease, not the cold pressed, but I'm talking about the heat extrapolated oils, and this can really cause all kind of problems. And you can get hepatomegaly, which is a fatty liver, from overdoing it, frying every day, not changing up, even change up different vegetables, Brussels sprouts sometimes, cauliflower sometimes, kale, arugula. All of these are wonderful foods that can give you the lutein, the vitamins A, D, E, and K, on and on. It's just really wonderful. B vitamins. There's also, for those of you that do eat fish, there is mackerel and tuna and salmon. The only thing that I would caution you of would be the water that those fish come from. A lot of times, if they're farm raised, they're not as clean or nutrient packed as the wild salmon or other wild fish. Now there are also fruits when it comes to that: apples, berries, oranges, mangoes. Don't eat too much. Mangoes are one of the sweetest fruit that we have, and when you eat too much or drink too much of those the mangoes, what you're doing now is you're adding more sugar, and that more sugar, you don't want excess sugar in your blood cells, because that can cause, again, an imbalance. We're all about that equilibrium. So important. Olive oil, especially extra virgin olive oil, curcumin. Curcumin is found in turmeric, green tea. Green tea is so excellent. And black tea, everybody. I love the smell of black tea, by the way. And these are very, very excellent foods that will help you to reduce some of the chronic inflammation. Okay. One of the things that I would also like to add to that is practicing a good sleep hygiene. Do your best to get to bed and to wake around the same time every day. So if you go to bed, you go to bed at 9, you want to every night at 9. And if you're getting up at 6, every day at 6. And this just helps you to harmonize or align with your human circadian rhythm. You can sleep 7 to 9 hours each night, and sleep in a cool, dark room. And you don't want to be in a room with your TV going and you got your computer right next to you, right next to your bed. These are no-nos, because that blue light will keep you up and it will excite your brain and not allow you to get back to sleep at sometimes. And if you are having those sleeping problems, you can't get to sleep, is maybe the overindulgence of being online. Some people are stuck to their phone and their phone is stuck to their hip. Is too much. Just like anything else, if you overdo it, it is most likely you're going to have some unfavorable um, uh, results. Is because it's just too much of anything is actually imbalanced. If you're concerned about the chronic inflammation, you can talk to your primary care provider, or you can simply just contact me at drzarif.com. That's D-R-Z like in Zeta, ARIF.com, drzarif.com, and set up an appointment. We'll go ahead and start with your. I also train you with the right exercises that you can do for your body. So those of you that don't want to go out to public, give me a call. Go on my site and set up a time to meet, and you'll have all you have to do is look at the prompts and click them on and follow those prompts. Yeah, there is a very, very important. Um, it's a very important rule to keep with yourself, and that is to always have you as the priority. Whatever it is that you're doing, wherever you are, whoever you are around, you are the priority. You are the most important person, not in a conceited way, but keep yourself number one, especially you wonderful wives out there, you wonderful women that take care of everybody but yourselves. So take that time out for self care, love on yourself, get things done that you have been meaning to get done for a very long time, and this will help to reduce some of the osteoarthritis as well as rheumatism and all these other different types of diseases and some of the situations that people face. Okay, I want to go back to Carrie. Carrie, you want to come up and give me any, if we have any feedback? I'd love to hear it.
Yes, absolutely. I have a comment here from Dr. Shear Stevens says, "I'm only now at this big age realizing the significance of quality sleep." Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm glad that she said, "Thank you very much, doctor." Um, it's really important because this is the time of your 24-hour cycle that you do the most healing. And this is also called this is where we have catabolic, these are processes that the bodies go through. And metabolism is the total of the catabolism along with the anabolism. So when we rest, we're more anabolic. So the repairing of our muscles, the repairing of our skin and any injuries and healing of anything that has been injured, even those things that we don't know about, we can look to sleeping to get help from that that particular important phase of our day, and that is to also to relax. A lot of times we're rushing around a lot and we're going here and there, and we don't really take out the time. Like a nap, I ain't taken a nap since I was 4.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes you need to slow down and just really take account of what you're doing, how well you're doing, what you need to change, if anything, and uh, just go for the optimal life. See, the bottom line is what? The bottom line is that you get the most out of your life. Everything that you can, get it, because this is short. Dying with regret is not anybody else's fault but our own. It's changing your attitude so that you can change the way that you feel, the way that you perform. So it's very sad when people die because that's our loved ones. But look, how do you remember them? From that fun, the laughter, the sharing of time, the jokes, all of the pranks, all of those kind of things is just really important that we understand that. Okay. Uh, Anything else, Kara?
I just want to give a shout out to my Leah over on Instagram. Hello,
Hey, Malia.
Yolanda Rogers, for tuning in as well. Thank you so much for supporting. Always a great support. Now, Reverend Dr. DVD Coates had a comment in the or made a comment. Let me see here. It said, or she says, yes, food is a substitute for relationships. We always celebrate or mourn with food. Do you take your own food to weddings and funerals without insulting your host?
That is beautiful and right on the nose. Good. It's what was the last part of that?
Well, and I don't know if that was a question or if it was like more of a comment, but it says, "Do you take your own food to weddings and funerals without insulting your host?"
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Well, let's look at it like something that we can entertain. Like, I think that it would definitely, sometimes, done in a very respectful way. Like you might have a certain something that you're carrying your food in, if you're really particular about that, um, and having something that you can eat. And I love this comment and putting it in question form, because this is something that a lot of people they don't do it. They show up because they feel that they're going to be talked about if they don't eat what's been served. And sometimes, frankly, some people's feelings are hurt because they feel that I stayed up all night doing this, and they're not eating my corn, or they're not eating my potato salad, or what have you. But
Hmm.
I would not take on that person's attitude and make it worse by eating a certain thing in front of their face. But what I would do is I have these kinds of things to go to that are very important. Is to eat first before I leave, and
Yes.
then when I'm there, share a drink. Having a drink and just say, "Oh, I can't put another bite in."
Hmm.
and instead of doing it right in front of their face may uh, definitely exacerbate the situation.
Exactly. And yes, I definitely agree with that. And also Dr. Sherry saying, or simply opt to skip mealtime at the event. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
right,
a great way to be able to, because I think even if you, like you said, if you have something to drink or so, you're still engaging, you're still,
right,
part of the event and not seeming like you're just there and not touching anything, not eating anything. So, uh,
right.
yeah, that
Yeah,
was
that's the love. It's just like we keep saying that too much of anything can knock you off balance. So if it you can turn instead of saying that no, I don't eat that. You have be careful of the words you're using because remember, people are sensitive, and you want to be respectful and not rude. So all of those things, I've had to do it many many times.
mhm. Yeah.
And I'm glad that like my cousin Miss T, Tanisha, she was telling me about ever since we were younger, we were still children. We didn't eat pork.
Hmm.
And she still brags. She's like, "Yeah, I still don't eat pork." And because a lot of people, if you're not right over them and if they're not in the right company, they're going to pick up habits of the people that they're keeping company with.
Yes.
And it is up to you to be responsible for your let them if they have to make something like, "Oh, I got to get used to this." Good, but just remember that many times when you are doing things, people are really paying attention to you closer than you think.
Oh yeah.
So it's don't be afraid to be you.
Uh-huh.
So
Especially in the position that you're in, as far as telling people how to eat. So if you go somewhere, people, they're going to be looking, let me see what doctors are eating, because I remember him saying in show number 450 that you're not supposed to, you know what I mean? I'm just
right,
making things up here, but yes, it's true. People, they definitely watch what you do, especially when you're saying that you eat a certain way. They're going to look at what you're eating. So
yeah,
got it. I just want to, just one quick comment over on Instagram from Leah Long says, I love being the topic of conversation. People always talk about me, but they don't pay my bills, so I wouldn't be too concerned about it.
yeah. They don't only not pay your bills, but they're not there if you're sick. They're not there if you're hungry. They're not there if you need transportation, if you need money, if you need somebody to talk to. So many times the people make sure that the people, when we talk about environment, as we always do, make sure that your environment is environment that you love and that loves you.
Right.
So people, we use that word people, but we mean those type of persons with that type of attitude all in your business.
Hmm.
That's why I'm a very private person myself. And when people find out what you're doing, hey, there you go. That's the results of their due diligence, I guess. But it's like it's not your responsibility to um, do things that everybody's going to agree to.
Right.
It's just like,
And it's
yeah,
impossible for that to be done anyway. Everyone, that you're not going to have 100% of anyone agreeing
yeah,
with you, no matter what side
yeah.
you go on.
And you're not here to please those people.
Right.
I don't care if you're the most, I mean, there's probably some of the most beautiful people you met in your life. And those people that you meet, like, I know everybody loves this person. They are just beautiful. They're kind, they're thoughtful, they're respectful. And you just like, what a beautiful person. But there's somebody that can't stand them.
Yes.
I can't stand him. He smile too much. I mean, is but don't get caught up and waste your time. That's one thing about this dear community that you're in. Make sure that it is one that inspires, that uplifts, that empowers you.
Yeah.
Not the kind that's going to be, even if they're joking, like, "Oh, you old blah 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 blah." even if they're joking, you don't want the joke because you don't want, words are powerful and powerful suggestions. So especially those people that you love and those people that you care about, you want to make sure that you reserve the best compliments, the most beautiful. Even if you're like, sometimes it's real hard, as you must say, "Oh, you something else, you something else," but you don't want to resort to saying anything that is harmful or that's injurious.
Right.
Let's move on.
All right. Good.
Okay, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit. Next, we're talking about one of the things that we should pay attention to are the bacterial loads that we have in food, and they come in many types. We start off with Staphylococcus aureus is one of the most important causes of foodborne intoxication and the most frequent antibiotic resistant pathogen in the world. So when you hear Staphylococcus aureus, this is one of the most frequent antibiotic resistant pathogens in the world. So you can't just get Staphylococcus and then you have that in your system and you can just take something and it'll be over. It's the most frequent antibiotic resistant pathogen. So it resists those medications to get rid of it. Now, regular evaluation of the current safety status of food is a proactive measure. And when you hear that word so much, I use that word because it's like get ahead of the game. Don't wait until it happens to you. But that's why we have exams. You go in, you get an examination, you find out how your body is reacting to the care the care that you're giving to it, and you move forward with more life, thriving through life, being able to set a great example, being able to live and to perform well is just really beautiful. A regular evaluation of the current safety status of food is a proactive measure to minimize the possible danger. That's why we do it proactively. You want to minimize the possible danger of foodborne pathogens. Now, when it comes to raw poultry, there's a whole lot of things that we can consider when we talk about the pathogens. But I'm just going to go through like a couple of things. That, pardon me. Okay. All right. Thank you. Um, Now, so yeah, the some of the bacteria, and you'll see here some of the bacteria is all over the place, and that's what our body fights for every day. All the different types of bacteria. I remember when I was a teenager, we used to have fun when we go out on our dates and all that. And, you meet somebody for the first time, and before you go home, you tongue to tongue, lips to lips, it's that freaky dicky time. And I remember very clearly, it was for Valentine's Day, as a matter of fact. And we were in school and we had the Valentine's um, day where everybody was competing with cards and candy and all that. Well, I was in a kissing contest, and whoever got the most kisses wins the contest. Hey, remember, keep in mind, I was in middle school then. And I won the contest and I was bragging. That next morning, my mother had to take me to the hospital because I kissed somebody, or the combination of all of those kisses when I was bragging as a little boy. Ooh, I got so and so. I kissed so and so. Boy, I thought I was going to die. And I don't mean that jokingly. I thought I was going to die because I had strep throat, and I'm sure I had traces of Salmonella, Shigella, E. coli, you know, Campylobacter, Salmonella, all of those, and the other pathogens that could be present also. Now, the raw poultry, which would look more like let's look at that. When you're looking at the chicken or other things too, fish, it can be other meat and all that. But if you put it under a microscope, you can see the bacteria that you can't see with your eyes. So uh, it is there and exists, and not only in meat. I'm not here to vilify meat, but I am here to say that a lot of times when you don't cook it correctly, when you are eating food that's infected from the get, like when you buy it, even uh, these foods have what are called a high microbial load. However, this will reduce in cooking because the heat can kill some of that bacteria. Now, the pathogenic series or species will, be present in many of the samples. Therefore, the raw poultry should be handled with scrupulous hygiene prior to cooking it, and that is to make sure that you're chilling, like chilling the parts. Chilling actually reduces microbial growth rate and the also the coldness. That's why you are going to some labs and it's cold, and that reduces the airborne bacteria, and it can also reduce the pathogens on the meat and poultry products. Chilling reduces the microbial growth rate. Vacuum modified atmosphere packing can extend the shelf life. And you've seen that before, the plastic. You put the meat in the plastic and you vacuum it. And that is one way that people store their meat in the freezer to have a longer shelf life. But this increased risk of anaerobic pathogen growth like Clostridium and botulinum. These are different um, um, different bacterium, but they are both dangerous and that they can easily hide in what you eat. The next is red meat. Red meat will have a high initial microbial load, and which is, or it will reduce on cooking, just like most of them will, because again, that high heat can kill a lot of the bacteria. Chilling reduces also the microbial growth rate in raw meat. And the same thing happens with the vacuum modified atmosphere packing. It can extend the shelf life, but this increases the risk of the anaerobic pathogen growth. And again, that's the Clostridium botulinum. Next, we'll have like pardon me? Oh, okay. So we have, yeah, we're doing a little our little production here. So here, these are the five different types of food contamination: physical, chemical, biological, allergenic, and cross contamination. We've heard about that before on our different equipment that we have in the um, kitchen, your cutting boards, so forth. From the dirt and metal and glass and all that, you get the physical contamination, pesticides and herbicides, fungicides, contaminated water, mercury and lead. All of that comes under chemical. And then you have biological, which is the bacteria, the fungi, mold, the algae, prions, and viruses. All of these are biological contaminants. And then there's the allergenic, which includes the shellfish and eggs and sesame seeds, even mustards, mustard greens, or soy, dairy products. These can be, people can have allergies. Um, and also the canned mustard. I want to also, or packed mustard in a squeeze bottle. Are allergic. Some people are allergic to it. And cross contamination, that I was saying earlier, is about the cleaning it well, not rinsing. You don't put a big piece of steak on the cutting board and then you rinse off the blood and then that's all that you do. You have to use different cleaning apparatus or equipment in order to get your boards cleaned correctly. And you can do that. Just go to YouTube. There's many um, uh, videos that will show you how to use very hot water, how to dip your board in the water along with some of the, it might have bleach or it might have suggest another um, uh, uh, chemical. And don't be afraid of chemicals because everything is made up of chemicals. You just don't want to overdo it. Okay. All right. I'm going to go back up here just for a minute. There's other things, but it won't be able to go into them today. But things like your bakery products can also be contaminated. Baking will reduce the water activity that will give it short ambient shelf life. Baked products are sometimes they're packed in a modified atmosphere to further their extended shelf life. But this increases the risk of anaerobic pathogen growth again. Now, the fruit and fruit juices. First of all, the low pH of fruit generally prevents the growth of uh, the pathogenic bacteria. However, there have been reports of E. coli growth in Apple products, and along with arsenic poisoning. But again, do your diligence. Do your due diligence by finding out, who reported these things, where did that information come from, and how reliable is the source. It's also possible that pathogens to it's possible for pathogens to survive without increasing in number, and this is of particular concern in unpasteurized products. And this is why, although like Trader Joe's has like good, unpasteurized apple juice or unpasteurized lemon juice, uh, and the reason that people are afraid is because it doesn't go through pasteurization. When you pasteurize something, what happens is you cook it. So those things that like orange juice or pasteurized that have pasteurized on, or any kind of juice or fruit that has or fruit juice that has pasteurized on it, the concern is that it may not have killed some of the pathogenic bacteria because they did not use the pasteurization process. The low pH of these product types will extend the shelf life in combination with the chilled storage. Okay, we're going to go back up to the wonderful one now, Care.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Zarif. Just want to give a shout out to Dr. James Thompson. Thank you so much for showing up. Hello,
Hey,
hello, and supporting. We always appreciate you stopping by. And also, Pyamba gives his regards. That's coming from Diva D.
nice.
So thank you all so much for joining us here today. Dr. Zarif, just always some great information for anyone that came in late. Of course, go back to the YouTube channel. That's where the videos pretty much live. That's where they are housed um, uh, forever and ever until we don't want them there anymore. And we do want them there. So go back to the YouTube channel, which is Dr. Farid Zarif, and subscribe while you're there. Take your notes and do those things that we need to do to get our lives together. Dr. Zarif?
Check out Dr. James Thompson. That is the man. He has a new book out, and check him out online. Dr. James, you can send more information for me, and I'll definitely I will properly push your book. And I'm sure it's a wonderful one. We wanted to go up to visit Dr. James, but it turned out that the other restraints that we had got in the way. But we're going to definitely support Dr. James. So please get a copy of his book. And Dr. James, you can also tell me how they can get it, and I will push it for you definitely, because we got to help each other. We brothers, and that's the way it goes. We have we have other people. If you're doing something, especially when it comes to weight loss, weight management, if you're talking about things that when it comes to you getting trained, or you want privacy, like me, I like private training also. I like a class too, because that's that energy. But if you're not already doing it, make sure that you set up an appointment. Get on that phone and make a phone call. You can reach us at 310-926-5115. And you can also go to drzarif.com. We got to get you in motion. You won't want to stop talking about it and do something about it. And
Right.
just to really make a big difference. We're
Yeah.
going.
No, go
Go,
ahead. I think you're going in the right direction. Go ahead.
oh, okay.
What
Thank
you
you.
were about to say.
This is I wanted to go a little bit over how strong your immune system is against sexually transmitted infections. We're going to bypass that today, but we do need to talk more about some of these things, like the um, different infections that sexual uh, uh, different sexual infections that are being passed from one another. A lot of times, for instance, when we talk about bacteria, remember that can be in your mouth. That can be all over your body. I mean, that's why I love the idea of the. Some people are against it, but just being into one relationship with one person, because when you start being with a lot of people, you also, it's like you're playing Russian roulette. And I'll just stop with it right there, because I don't want to preach to you, but I definitely want you to be aware of it. Marriage is a beautiful thing, and that's why I keep getting closer and closer to it myself, because I got to live a life that thrives. And that's a part of thriving, is that making the decisions. You're making a decision to make you a better person. And that comes with eating and drinking and exercise and rest and a good, wonderful, loving environment. Okay.
Absolutely. I just wanted to mention the Mount Tabor, because I know that's one thing.
Oh,
Mhm. Mount Tabor, Dr. Zarif will be there on July
the
the
5th.
5th. Okay, July the 5th. That's the next time we're going to be at Mount Tabor. So that's for his nutrition class for the first hour, and then workout for the second hour. Um, that's 6614 Southwestern Avenue in LA. Of course. So if there's anyone around the area that would like to join us, the next class will be on July the 5th. So I wanted to get that out there. Yeah.
Yeah, and if make sure that you just leave early from wherever you are, because we got people coming from all over the place, and this is really great for you to be there. And remember, I'm glad that you brought this up, Karen, because like exercising. If you're moving, and you don't have to even be doing what I'm doing. If you're moving and you're around other people that are moving, it gets better, because the hardest part of exercise is to start.
Yes.
That's the hardest part. Everybody else, of course, people want to sit around and eat, and it's easier not to have a consistent workout pattern. But once you get started, it's a beautiful thing, and you reduces the chance of illness, disease, and infection. I love it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So again, thank you all so much for joining us here today in the Mind of Nature. We appreciate every comment, everyone that came by and dropped a heart and just showed us some love. Really do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Dr. Zarif, back to you.
James Norman, Leah Long, Shorty Smooth, all my brothers and sisters over here, and M. Hakam. I want to say hello, give you a shout out also. Thank you very much for being here over here on Instagram. And those of you that joined us on YouTube and Instagram, no, not YouTube, and what's the other one? Facebook. We
Yes.
want to make sure that we thank you. Hey, this is good because I'm getting confused about the who's listening, and that means we're getting bigger. That's great. So wonderful. I used to be just concerned about the numbers and stuff, but now I'm just concerned with reaching you.
Hmm.
And please again take advantage of Dr. Zarif .com. We have new books in. So if you want to get a copy of Slaves of the Tongue, get that. And we'll be on our way to making an easier way to thrive in this life. Okay? Care?
Yes. Thank you so much. Again, really just really grateful for everyone that stopped by and said hi, and we'll see you next week. We will be live again next week.
Thank you. I'm Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist.